I've done multiple videos about narcissism now, and in this video I'm going to be talking about why narcissism is on the rise. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, good communications, and developing those strong family bonds, and narcissism definitely gets in the way. So in this video we're going to be talking about why there is so much narcissism. I don't know if you've noticed it, but there are more people with narcissism now than I ever knew of before. Could it be that we are just finally seeing the narcissism where before we put up with it? I don't think so. I think there are more modern factors that are leading to narcissism that many people are not aware of. That's what I'd like to do in this video, is shed some light on narcissism, why it's occurring, and so that parents can start changing the tide. So maybe we could have less narcissistic people in the future. Just so you know, narcissists are not happy. They may seem like they're happy controlling other people and psychologically abusing others all the time, but they are not happy. It is very stressful to be a narcissist for most people. Sure, they seem to get the upper hand a lot and win a lot, but ultimately, they don't feel the bond or connection that they need either. So we don't want our children to be narcissists, so we've got to make sure that we prepare the way for that not to happen. Also, if you're dealing with a narcissist, I hope this gives you some insight, maybe even some things that you can consider for what could have contributed to the narcissism of the person that you might be dealing with. That said, I want you all to know you cannot diagnose another person as a narcissist. That does have to be clinically diagnosed. We can see some tendencies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is for sure narcissistic. The other day I spoke with a mother who was concerned about her son because her son had married a narcissistic woman. And the son had a lot of struggles because of it. In fact, he really ended up psychologically beat up to the point that he's not sure he trusts anyone anymore, which is really hard. The poor mother's heart was breaking as she explained the story to me about her son. And I have to say that I do have experience with narcissism. I've seen people recover from narcissistic relationships. It is a hard thing to witness, and some people have a better time recovering than others, depending on what level of psychological abuse that they have actually been through. As I talked with this mother about the narcissism and the type of behavior that happened, the mother wanted to know, why does this happen, Nicholeen? Why are there so many narcissistic people? I feel like my son was so unsuspecting. He was just trusting of people. He thought the best of everyone, and then boom, this happened to him. This girl took advantage of him in this way and just really ripped his heart out. And she's not alone in thinking that. It is hard to see your loved ones get hurt, beat up, abused by someone, and to not even see it coming. That's sort of the nature of narcissism. So I have many other videos on narcissism. I'm not going to go into all the details of what makes a narcissist in this video, because that is contained in other videos on narcissism. However, one key thing that you need to know is that a narcissist can be very charismatic, and they can hold off on their game for a long time. They oftentimes deliberately plan things out in order to accomplish the strategy that they're hoping to accomplish. I do think probably some do things just by nature without planning, but a lot of them do some intricate strategic planning, which means you're not always going to know at first when you meet a narcissist. One key thing about narcissists is most narcissists are created by other narcissists, okay? The problem that we have today is that it's not just parent narcissists creating child narcissists, but there's also teacher narcissists, there's friend narcissists, there's also narcissists that are online that are now grooming our children. There's narcissism in Hollywood, in some of the movies, and it's glorified. People are like, oh yeah, that's funny, right? And so the children start to key into what they think might be cool behavior, and it's actually narcissistic behavior. It might even be downright mean behavior. So we do have a problem with bullying, which is one of the ways we also know we have a problem with narcissism, because the two of those things oftentimes go hand in hand. So when you have a person who is for sure a narcissist, you have to look and say, who groomed them, right? Because probably they were either the target or the ally of another narcissist, whether it was someone within the home with them or a close friend, colleague, co-worker, or even just someone that they happen to get to know really well online. There are many more reasons why we are seeing a rise in narcissism, and I'm going to get to those. But before I do, leave me a comment. What types of narcissistic behavior have you been seeing? How have you seen narcissism spread? I think we could have a really great discussion about narcissism in the chat here. Another thing that's leading to narcissism is social issues. Social issues are actually promoting entitlement and war. When we promote entitlement and war to somebody, which is happening when we're putting everybody in boxes and saying, you're a victim, you're an oppressor, and that kind of stuff, and we're saying, oh, that's bullying, even when it might not be, and then, oh, whoa, that really is bullying. We have all these different things happening socially where the fabric of our society is eroding morally and socially. That right there is the recipe for everybody to go into a self-protect, entitlement mindset. They start fighting for everything, and soon they start crossing boundaries and controlling. If you see yourself as a victim, which many narcissists do, see themselves as victims, then next thing you know it, you're starting to have narcissistic tendencies. So that is another thing that is really lending itself to breeding more narcissists. So could we please stop putting people in boxes? Could we please stop talking about the color of people's skin? I know, somebody thinking, nice for you to say, you're a white lady, but honestly, could we stop that? It's so unhealthy. It's bad for our psyche. It's bad for our relationships. Could we stop talking about sexual preferences? Could we just stop having that be the conversation of the day? Does it have to be wrapped in everything that we do? Because it's just creating more and more war, more and more bias. People are more polarized, with their political parties and their religious views than they ever have been before. We need to come together and be one. That will help the narcissism decrease. Now, I know I just said a lot of stuff, maybe stuff that you hadn't considered before, but I'm watching this third person, seeing all these people struggle, and I am seeing social issues be a key player in the selfishness and the wildness in the way that people are treating each other. Maybe you don't agree with me, maybe you do. Put a comment below. Happy to see it there. One of the biggest factors, besides being groomed by a narcissist, of the increase in narcissism, in my opinion, is actually the decrease of family bonding. So people are starting to put their attention outside of the family, on friend groups, social issues, stuff like that, instead of on the family. And when we have more family bonding, that creates security. It brings in responsibility and duty. A narcissist doesn't have a duty to anyone besides themselves. We need to continually foster and nurture duty and responsibility. This happens in a home environment with a family. So where is the bonding happening? Well, a lot of the bonding is happening to devices. People are bonding to the machines themselves, and they're also bonding to the dialogue that's happening on the machines. I have had conversations with young people who finally recognize, after having a conversation with me, that they have been sucked into ideas that might not be true. But they have bonded so closely with these ideas that they have started tearing apart family relationships and friend relationships. They've bonded so closely with just the digital world. We can't have digital replace the family bond. If we continue to allow this to happen, we will see more narcissism. Because it is the family that teaches a person that life isn't about you, it's about us. And we are a full group of people, not just individuals fighting for the survival of the fittest. We are a full group. If life really was about the survival of the fittest, then you know what? We'd all see no problem with war. But I think most people still don't like war, and that means that we know that somehow this world is more about a group than each individual person getting what they want. Here's another thing that leads to narcissism. People have embraced dishonesty as a way of life. And so many lies and things are not detected or not even paid attention to. People just go, they say whatever it is, or sometimes you have to say things like that to get ahead, and they just pass off lies. Some people even congratulate other people on their lies. How is that a thing, you know? We have so many politicians and people who had businesses and stuff who are so narcissistic. So why would we congratulate them on their next lie? That's just creating more of a problem for our society. But you know what? We do. And the more we embrace dishonesty, the more we will have narcissism. Here's another thing. People don't actually know each other that well. They don't see each other enough to really understand each other's character. So many of us are just acquaintances. We pass, but we don't really converse. We don't share about ourselves. People don't open up as much. And when you don't open up, then everything is surface. The narcissists thrive on surface communication and surface relationships. They can use all the surface because they can appear to be anything. But so long as we make that the norm, then the narcissists are not detected for a long time and they don't get help. They get worse and worse. We absolutely must get to know people better, understand their character so that we can truly see if they have a problem with narcissism so that we can keep ourselves safe or let other people know to get safe and maybe even help that person get the help that they need. Many people might not realize that one of the other things that is leading to narcissism is a lot of loneliness. Emotional disconnection, putting up emotional walls. When a person feels like they're alone, they get more selfish, more protective, more selfish, more protective. And then comes more narcissism. Increased anxiety can even lead to more narcissistic tendencies. Now, obviously, there's narcissistic tendencies and then there's full-on narcissism. But narcissism is groomed. Sure, it's a way that your mind processes information, but it's also groomed behavior the majority of the time. So what we have to do is we have to say, okay, if that's the case, then let's see what factors are leading to it. And one of them is the person being alone, the person being too much in their own head. So we need to keep fostering good connection and communications in the home and in our communities. When families are not deliberate in their planning for good relationships, then we can have situations where people can fall into selfish traps and then they can get more narcissistic tendencies as well. So it's a good idea to make sure that you have good planning as a family. How are we going to solve our problems? How are we going to spend time with each other and communicate with each other? These are things that the family needs to know about each other, and so that they can increase this environment of caring about each other as well. If you've enjoyed this video, you're going to like my next one, which is how to heal from narcissistic abuse. I have a lot of videos, like I said, about narcissism on this channel. I hope you'll check them all out if it's something you're really dealing with. But probably one of the most important ones is what can you do to heal from this type of narcissistic abuse if it's something that you are encountering right now. So definitely check out that video next.